Hello everyone, this is the first of two videos about creating rubrics in Canvas. Now this first video is going to give you some information about rubrics and why you might want to use them, and then the next video will show you how to actually create a rubric. So just as a little background, I have used grading rubrics in face-to-face classes, paper rubrics, to score almost all of the assignments that I give to students, and I've used those for a long time. But this past semester was the first time that I have actually created a grading rubric to use for assignments in Canvas. Now, I will tell you that creating the rubrics takes some patience. It takes some time, quite a lot of time, and once you have them created, then I think it makes grading much easier. So let's take a look at a rubric that I created for a bit of a research essay for my class that I taught this spring. So first of all, this will just show you the rubric always shows at the bottom of an assignment, unless we're talking about a discussion forum. But for assignments that the students upload to Canvas, the rubric will always show when they click upload, so this is a way for them to check to be sure that they have included everything. So the rubrics can be as elaborate or as simple as you want them to be. So this is, over here, the criteria. Now you can have as many rating sections as you want to have. I have 3. And you can either use a range of scores, which I have used here, or you can use a single score if you are perhaps grading something that's simple and doesn't have the kind of complexity that this has. So you'll notice that each of these areas has maximum points, and this assignment is worth 100 points. So we come down here and it shows that this adds up to 100, which one would hope would be true. So again, the criteria, the number of ratings that you want to have, and the points, the total points, and then obviously you break these down, and I broke them down into a range. You don't have to do that. So let's take a look at what this looks like when it's already filled out. So I would go to SpeedGrader, but I have this set up already, and I do have a real student in here that I'm going to show you, and Morgan has given me permission to show you her work here. So when we come over here to the SpeedGrader, you'll see that first of all, you're able to grade this much the same, or comment on it much the same way that you would be able to do in Word track changes. I set this up to run through Turnitin, so you'll see that Morgan has a 14% match to her sources, and she has properly quoted those sources over here. And you'll see that the grade is 86, and once this grade is submitted, it goes directly into the grade book. So if we come down here, we'll see that I scored her here 10 out of 12 points, 12 out of 18 points, and I was able to make specific comments about why I gave her the rating that I did. And then when I would come down here, I would click submit, and her grade would go into the grade book. And in addition to that, I'm able to come down here and write her an overall comment. And I could have also done a multimedia comment where I could have talked to her if I wanted to do that, but I didn't do that on this one. So this is what the end result looks like. So you can make corrections as you would in Word track changes. you can run through a Turnitin and get a Turnitin report so the student can actually see this. And you'll see that she viewed this not too long after I submitted it, and she got a notification that I had graded it. So that's what the end result looks like. Now if we come over here, this is a practice class that I have. I actually emptied out an old class to use it as a practice class. So again, you can see here that I have this same rubric, and if I had press speed grader, it will bring me here. So here we'll see that this is a paper that hasn't been graded yet. Now I'm not going to go through here and show you how to do this because I've shown you how to use this in a different video. So I just want to show you a little bit about how the rubric works here. So if you have a rubric, if you don't have a rubric, it won't give you this command. So you're going to say view rubric, and you'll see what it looks like. So here it has my ratings, and let's just assume that I'm going to click this. So I'm going to put a 10. It populates here. I can change this. So I could change it to a 7. And if I click this, then I can write as much here as I want for comment to indicate why the student lost some points here. So if we come down through here, and let's say that everything was good here, so I'll say 18, and again I can make some comments to say great job on this or that kind of thing. Coming down here, let's come over here and say the conclusion was a little weak, so we'll say 6, and again we get the comments. And here we'll go here again, and we'll say an 8 here. Actually, if I get an 8, I'm going to come over here, so I'm going to say a 9 here. Come down here, and let's say we have the full points, and let's say we have 26 here. Again, I can comment on all of these. So you'll see I have an 82 here, and then if I submit this, I'm not sure if I can because this is test student, but I'll say save, and because this is a test student, nothing happened to it, but typically in a real student you'd see the 82 here, and the 82 would go into the grade book. So, and then you can come down here and write a comment, or you could attach a file, you could attach only an audio comment, or you could attach a video comment as well, and then submit this. So those are all of the things that you can do with a rubric, which I think once you have a rubric created, it just makes it so much easier than having to try to write all of this in some way to the students. So again, even though it's a bit of a time sucker to get these created, now once they're created, Canvas saves them for you, so you can move them from one class to another if you want to. I'll show you in the next video how to do that, but you have to create them first. Now, you might be able to search in the Canvas Commons and find some that you could import into your class, but it seemed to me that that was going to be more work than it was to create my own. But once you get your own created, then you can use them, you can edit them from one class to another. So again, this is video 1. This is just an overview of why you might want to use rubrics, and in the next video we'll take a look at how to create the rubrics.